Hey gang, I'm doing a review of Heady Topper. I have a really old review. I can't remember if I have done 2 reviews, but I thought it was about time, especially because it's a little smudge, but this is canned 4 days ago. And I bought this about a mile from my house near Boston because of the situation. Their brewery is closed and they're spreading it all over Massachusetts now, which is cool. Very cool because Heady Topper and Focal Banger were basically available in every single bar and liquor store in Vermont, it seems. And now there's just all the bars are closed in Vermont. So they need to spread it out, get people drinking it. So that's very, very cool. I don't know, how long this will last, but hopefully they get successful and they are able to do this and keep making money and all that. So you know about this beer. I don't remember the last time I had it this fresh. Especially because it wasn't until like a month ago or 2 months ago they started dating the cans. But I assume when you get it from the brewery, it was probably less than a week old. This is 4 days old, so this is brewery fresh, and it is quite hazy when it's this fresh, as you can see. And I definitely have gotten it from the brewery where it was not this hazy right off the bat. Yeah, because if you get a can of this that doesn't have the date on it, then it's gonna be a couple months old, and it'll probably be really clear. Like the haze falls. It takes a while. This beer stays really good when it's refrigerated. I've even kept this for a couple months. Not refrigerated, but not hot, and it's totally fine. And from what I heard from the brewer John Kimmich talking about this beer in a kind of recent review, maybe 1-2 years ago, he said that he's been using a lot of Simcoe, and he really likes how Simcoe hops have been these past few years. And I do too. It used to be what people would call cat pissy in these things, and I don't really get that. And as you can see, it's just a beautiful head that's not going to quit. Like they know how to package and carbonate and do everything with this beer. It's been perfected. And you can see your fingers sort of through it, just barely, unlike most hazy IPAs these days. Yep, that is very nice. And their yeast blends a really interesting candy-like thing that's different from a lot of other yeasts. I use this weird description, Tootsie Roll. It's not what you normally think would be in an IPA. But it has this sweet, not chocolate, but kind of chocolate sort of thing going on in it. Just like how Treehouse reminds me a little bit of Peanuts or something like that. Or Circus Peanuts, which are those weird, fake, fake banana flavored peanut candies. Like all these really expressive yeasts they use in these kinds of beers have their own unique aroma is sometimes kind of weird, but the way it pairs with the hops in this is really, really special. Yeah, lots of berry notes and grapefruit and a little dink, very floral. And just a burst of flavor. Really nice mouthfeel, even though it's not the thickest, most milkshakey, hazy beer. The feel is just silky on the tongue, in a similar way that Pliny the Elder is. That one's not hazy at all, But then a good amount of bitterness in this beer. I don't remember. I feel like I've heard a specific IBU rate that has been said about Heady Topper, but I can't remember right now. But it lingers with strong, spicy, earthy bitterness. Wow, especially at this fresh. Whew. And a palate of salt. Like here it says, so drinkable it's scary, and usually I believe that, but at 4 days old. Wow. They definitely use a lot of hops in this. I love that explosive flavor, but it's like amazing. Most people don't get it quite this fresh. Really intense. It gets very bitter, grapefruity. And I mean, it's maybe there's some peach in there, but there's so much spicy, floral, bitter citrus that any like tropical juicy stone fruit is covered up, especially at this this age. It's wow, pretty intense. I should go back and check out my original review of this from when I first got it at their their brewery in 2016. That was like right after they opened, so it was probably close to as fresh as this, and I think they've kept the recipe kind of the same. I know they do slightly play with the hops depending on just what hops that year seem better. I know it's definitely a lot of Simcoe this year, or the past years. Maybe it used to be a little more Centennial. I don't know. Well, there isn't a huge amount of pine. It does have that resiny, piney bitterness, but it's not really piney and sappy like I get from a lot of a Centennial. I bet there's some in here. But it seems quite Simcoe, maybe Amarillo forward. Really good beer, just so different from everything. I just did a review of a different hazy New England IPA that I thought was pretty bitter and in your face. But not like this. Not like this. If you see it in your store, I mean, it's I hate to say it, but it's worth running out and trying to get it while you can. But I feel like it's going to keep coming for a while, and you'll have a chance to just follow, beer store pages on Instagram. But it's, sort of an unrateable beer. It's amazing. It's 4.75 plus, Very nice, but you might be surprised when you have it. Especially if you haven't had it in a while. And it's quite bitter, and if you get this fresh, which now they're sending around this fresh. Mm-hmm. After a while, your palate gets used to it. But it has that bitterness and intensity that reminds you of West Coast IPAs, ironically. Bye.